Hello, my impatience. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here, and I am live and ready to perform for all of you. How art thou? How art thou, my impatience? Hey, Shroom Dukem, how art thou? I see you in the house. You're seen, Shroom. So, are all there lies? Are there lies going on here? Can somebody be honest and transparent with me, please? Yeah, I don't know, guys. So are there hidden realities that if I discovered were true, like when it pertains to my cousins, aunts, uncles, stepsister, parents, are there hidden realities that if I discovered were true would make me really angry? Or is everything as it appears to be? I know the time right now is 9:12 p.m., which is yes. 9 would be Y, 1 would be E, and 2 would be S. So it's saying yes, there are hidden realities that if you discovered were true, you would be fucking enraged, Andrew. Which is why your parents don't tell you. Which is why they continue to lie to you. Correct? Or is everything as it appears to be? Is everything face value? Is everything as it appears to be? And there's no lies, there's no deception. I mean, can somebody tell me the truth, please? Is anybody telling me the truth? Is anybody telling me the truth? Can somebody tell me the fucking truth? Is anybody being honest with me? All right. They should just tell me. They should just disclose to me what all the hidden realities are. Take accountability and just fucking admit it. The problem is, if they told me everything, I would be so fucking righteously enraged. Correct? Hey, okay, so we got Gina in the house. We like Gina. Gina's nice. Hey, Gina, how are you doing? Gina, do you think my parents are lying to me? Hey, Gina, how art thou? Or is your impression they're being honest with me? Like I'm ready to metaphorically tear my hair out. I'm like, Gina says she's doing good. She thinks my parents are being honest. Maybe I'm just really frustrated. Maybe my parents, friends, family, everybody was being honest with me. Maybe maybe it really is all delusions and psychosis. Maybe it really is all delusions and psychosis. Yeah, but Gina says, then again, she doesn't know my parents, so she really can't comment. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying I'm in pain. I'm in emotional pain, and I feel like there's people who enjoy watching me suffer. But somebody said, you know, in response to the my parents in the Bukaki video, they said you are the sadistic persecutor. You accuse everyone in your life of getting sexual pleasure from your suffering. When you do things like singing songs about peeping on a neighbor who you gave the same exact name as your mother, and now this, you are projecting. It's you. It has always been you this whole time, a sexual fiend. You should not be on the streets with innocent people. You can't even be trusted to have full access online, for that matter. You get in contact with countless sex workers, stringing them along, making them think you and them have something going on, but you are just leading them on. You use them to get a thrill out of the chase, only to drop them, wasting their time. Not only that, but you get on camera and accuse them of being the predators and scammers. Not to mention all the years of making videos and posts defaming and throwing false accusations towards anyone and everyone who has ever tried to love you. This includes not only your parents, but your closest friends and partners. Uh, you spent years of making horrific accusations. You would apologize only to wash, rinse, repeat the cycle over and over again. Um, what you do is abuse, and it's not okay. Um, After this video, I worry more than ever for the safety of those around you, especially your mother. No son should ever be having these kind of thoughts about their mother. You say you are innocent, pure, angelic, or a bunny, but no, that's not true from what you've shown us all. It's a facade, a mask, real. You're a real wolf in sheep's clothing vibes. I used to sympathize with you, and others would beg you to work on yourself, but now you just make my skin crawl. I think the only option for you and the well being of those in your life at this point is spa housing. You need to be in a group home. That's the only way for you to get well and to spare the people in your life from much more trauma. That's what somebody posted on Reddit. The user said, war. Somebody says, who the hell wrote this? I'm not really sure who the hell wrote this, but yeah, it seemed pretty nasty to be quite frank. Yeah, that was kind of nasty. So he says, that's quite the post. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that post isn't really necessarily spot on. I think I just need some love, and I think I need some just love in my life. But yeah, that post was a little nasty. Oh, Dave is back. Welcome back, Dave. Kyle says you need therapy and medication. We got Yuri in the house. How art thou, Yuri? Cerula Lean says she's got spicy Doritos. That sounds delicious. Hey Tara, how are you doing? Tara, have I ever met you in real life? Have we ever met, Tara? Have you ever been to my house, Tara? I was comparing photos of you to somebody I once knew. She says no. LOL. Yeah, apparently Tara. I don't know Tara then. Okay, fair enough. I thought you were somebody from my past. Rusty's doing woo, woo. You go into the psychiatric hospital, Andrew. You go into the loony bin. I just want honesty and transparency. So he says, got any snacks this weekend? Well, I actually I went and got hibachi for dinner. So I went out of the house. I got a table for one in a hibachi restaurant. I was the lonely and pathetic single male surrounded by couples and families and people socially engaging, and I was the depressed single man in the hibachi restaurant. Tara says, maybe if this is like the show Lost, maybe we knew each other in like a multiverse universe or like in another universe. But you've never been to Long Island, New York. You don't know my family. You this is we're just meeting through social media, basically. Okay, fair enough, Tara. So I'll keep in mind you're exactly who you're presenting yourself as. Don't get daydreams. Yeah, I used to have this friend, and I would daydream stories about him that he was my childhood bully coming back into my life under another name. And he wasn't. He wasn't the childhood bully of me coming back into my life under another name. It was kind of like how I daydreamed. Also, my art class buddy was Olivia Rodrigo, or how I daydreamed people I was interacting with on the internet were Taylor Swift in disguise. You know, these are just basically what I'm daydreaming is Tara is my stepsister under a new name, but that's not so. She's a random person who found my channel. Don't Olivia Rodrigo here. She's exactly who she appears to be. Um, you know, Basically, I'm Olivia Rodrigoing here. Tara says, I've never been to Long Island. I don't know you in real life. She's definitely not my stepsister. This is delusions. Toggle the emotional switch to off. Realize I'm Olivia Rodrigoing here. Okay, fair enough, Tara. But yeah, so far so good. I do like interacting with you. You're a very cool friend. Tara's quickly becoming one of my favorite inpatients because of the hard work she's putting into my songs and our conversations through Instagram and her interactions with me through the live stream. Rusty's still. Tara says I was just recommended to her through the. Tara is very talented. Yeah, I dig Tara. I saw a photograph of her too. She's cute too. She's attractive too. So we dig to Tara. She's one of the best inpatients. Rusty's obviously up there too. Tara says, "Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Tara. You're welcome." But accept people for who they are and don't daydreams stories about them. My friend who I don't see anymore, but he wasn't my childhood bully. The art class buddy, she isn't Olivia Rodrigo, and Tara isn't my stepsister. She's just a cute woman, and that's good because, you don't want her. You want people to be exactly who they present themselves as. You don't want people to be lying to you and gaslighting you. Tara says, I think you should talk to your therapist about this, especially about the bukkake thing, where you said your mom, as an apology for the HIV scare, should do it. It was meant to be gallows humor. It was meant to be comedy. But yeah, I don't actually have a social worker or therapist at the moment. I really should get a new one. What do you think the therapist would say in response to the bukkake video? Somebody says they would probably say you need to go to mental health recovery programs, Andrew. They would probably say you need some mental health recovery. iBoss says it would be a shame if somebody reported elder abuse. iBoss, to be, and I don't think this is the real iBoss, by the way. It would be a shame if somebody reported disabled man-child abuse. I think I should be. I think they should report abuse of neglect and abuse of a disabled man-child. Are they even elders? I guess they're elders. Yeah. Quite frankly, I don't even interact with them. I don't even see them. They just sit in their part of the house doing what they do. I sit in my part of the house doing what I do. There's no real elder abuse going on, to be fair, you know. What are you on, Gina? There's no elder abuse going on. What are you on, Gina? What are they going to call in? Elder abuse? How do I abuse my parents? They say they're kidding. They're kidding. Tara says, learn some Japanese and listen to Asian woman. Yeah, what does it say at the beginning? You said it says the same thing as pharmacological abusers, right? Gina's a jokester. Gina's a jokester. Gina says, I don't think you abuse your parents or vice versa. Yeah, I mean, nobody's getting physical. Nobody's verbally. Yeah. I mean, to call in elder abuse or to call in, you know. All right, guys. Yeah, somebody says how I broke my mother's finger in 2011. That's true. No, somebody says you got glass in your mother's eye on Thanksgiving when I smashed the plate. Tara says Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't think I slapped my mother. When did I slap my mother? I don't recall doing that. I know the incident in 2011. I don't recall slapping my mother though. So he says in 2016. I think that was my father, by the way. Yeah, 2016 is a long time ago. I don't recall that. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't recall that. It might have been my father. Somebody says, what was your work history? Somebody asks, is this the real iBoss? Tara says, what if we use reverse psychology? What is reverse psychology, Tara? What do you mean by reverse psychology? Kyle says, historically, the only thing that has led to long term improvement for you is intensive medication and therapy. Somebody says, "You said the happiest days of your life were you're on the mega regimen." Yeah, I was definitely on the mega regimen, but I think the happiest days of my life were because I was engaging and socializing with women, though. Somebody says, "Cool man says stop watching porn." Why do you say stop watching porn, cool man? Why is porn bad? Tara says, "You seem like you need medication, in my opinion. I'm on Abilify 10 milligrams, Tara." So, somebody asks, "What's your opinion on incest?" Well, obviously, you shouldn't be breeding with members of your family because, you know, it goes against nature. You could have, defective children, and incest is bad. Yeah. Is incest illegal? It might even be illegal. Tara says it depends on the state. Not in some states. Some states incest is illegal. How about New York? Is incest legal in New York? So he says, I like how he still pronounces iBoss as iBoss. Tara says, it's kind of surprising where incest is legal. All right, fair enough, Tara. Fair enough. Somebody says, incest is illegal in Texas, but legal in Massachusetts. Mm. All right. Yeah, I don't have any desire to date members of my family, but good to know. Good to know. So if I ever want to get married to my mother, I know the states I can do it in now. Somebody says, I think you should get married to your first cousin. All right, Tara. I don't talk to my cousins. I haven't talked to them in years. Kyle says, your mother should block the internet for most of the day, to be honest. Yes, she should, but she's not going to. No, to be honest, I mean, I'm looking. I'm single. I'm looking for women. You know. So, guys, how bad are the hidden realities, and how bad are the secrets? Somebody says 10. They're how bad are the hidden realities, and how bad are the secrets? Somebody says a million. The hidden realities are no, seriously though. I mean, Tara says everything is awful. How do you know that, Tara? How do you know everything is awful? Tara says it's worse than we all think. So it's somebody asks, "Is iBoss gay?" Yeah, I know this was my psychiatrist's take on this. He says obviously iBoss was a homosexual who was attracted to me, and he got angry. He was attracted to me, and he had a love-hate relationship with me. So sometimes he was attracted to me sexually, and when he got angry he was attracted to me. He would make threats and do nefarious things because he was gay for me, basically. He basically was repressing homosexuality, and he was he would start to fuck with me because he hated that he got gay thoughts about me, but he also liked me. iBoss says, yes, I'm gay, and I was. I've come to accept it. Somebody says, that sounds like boomer logic. Tara says, that's so dark-sided. No, apparently that was my psychiatrist's take. He said iBoss was gay for me, was into me, and that was the psychiatrist's take. So, iBoss says, you were into me too. Remember those charged conversations we had? Dave says, tell me the truth, Andrew Kowalski. Yeah, no, I okay. Yeah, your 666 song was good, and we gotta get it viral tomorrow for Sunday. I think it's a fake iBoss too, to be perfectly honest with you. 6. I asked the Lord, how much is she a sinner? And the Lord said 6. The Lord said 6. 6, 6, 6. Actually, believe it or not, the song is more of a psychiatry video about idea of reference delusions than being satanic, but everybody just sees the number 666 and assumes it's a satanic song, so I don't know. It's not really. It's about trains and getting ideas of reference and delusions. It's not really about worshiping Satan, but everybody sees the number 666 and assumes it's a worshiping Satan song. It is. It's a song about running the subway car 666 and getting ideas of reference that it's a message from God that I need to attend church. That's what the song's about. Peter says, you think you got it bad, Andrew? Some stepmom kept her son hostage for 30 years. My mom has kept me hostage for 37 years. She's got me in here at gunpoint, my mother says. Post on social media all day, every day. Cool Man asks, do you think Tara likes you, Andrew? I don't know if Tara likes me or not. I mean, I like her. I like her as a friend. I don't know. I don't know if she. I mean, I don't. I mean, I definitely dig Tara. She's definitely attractive. I dig Tara. I find her attractive. I don't know. I don't know what. Oh, we got the person on Reddit who said something new. The person on Reddit said Warwin said in response to the Bukaki video, in my opinion, your parents are underreacting to this. Not only is your post sick, evil, and hateful, it's extremely perverted and nasty, like a sexual predator made it. I don't think I'm even that far from the truth by saying that, to be honest. And then to top it off, you try to claim it's a joke. I love how you ended a text with clearly, because it's clearly a joke. Mom and dad are clearly the softies for not getting or appreciating the fine piece of gallows humor from their comedic genius son. I mean, can they not see how brightly you shine with the uncomfortable pity laughs you get from these like two audience members at your stand-up comedy shows? I think it's clear that you should know their place and give them the respect for this, because clearly you are the star of that family, damn it. I mean, seriously, imagine your near 40-something-year-old neat son who you gave up retirement for, who broke your bones when you already had been an adult for years, refuses his part-time to get better, posts this about you. Then when you confront him about it, he has the gall to be like, geez, Mom and Poppy, my post about me wanting to see Mom get used by 75 men in retribution for something that I imagined in my head is clearly a fine example of gallows humor. Oh my God, lighten up. Seriously, what the actual fuck? If this isn't Christine's last straw, then I don't think anything will be. So he says they're at your wit's end, and you think they're posting gallows humor. So he says it's a Christine sympathizer. Boot them. Christine sympathizers need to take the. I know at my recent psychiatry session, Dr. Copland, I don't see Dr. Garrett anymore, but Dr. Copland said it's delusional disorder, but maybe it is still schizoaffective disorder. So he said, you're definitely delusional, Andrew. You're definitely delusional. Somebody says, do you believe in God, Andrew? Not at the moment, but if I get like a terminal cancer diagnosis and I'm on my deathbed, I might pray to find like religion so I get into heaven. But not at the moment, not really, no. Like if I'm faced with my mortality and I'm about to die, I might say, all right, let me find God, let me find Jesus on my deathbed and say a few prayers. So he says, that's such a funny answer. Thank you, Tara. I appreciate you liking that answer. So Kyle says, aren't you concerned that your mom is threatening to never talk to you again? She's going to talk to me again. But I do believe, Christianity and Catholicism and all religions teach good values. You do the right thing, you help people, you try to make the right decision, I believe in doing the right thing and being kind to people. I believe that's really good values to live by. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I just don't think there's this magical entity. I believe in being kind and being like a goody two shoes and doing the right thing, but I don't believe there's this magical entity that you can go to heaven if you do the right or wrong thing. Kyle says, "How do you think you're going to recover?" So Iboa says, "You believed in God when you wanted to be absolved from your crimes against animals." That was 2002, Iboss. That was 2002. We'll make heaven a place on earth. Yes, Tara. We'll make heaven a place on earth. Yes. Mm. Shadow's Revenge says, God will never forgive you, and neither will I. All right, Shadow's Revenge. Apparently, the priest at confession forgave me, though. So I was forgiven in the eyes of the Lord. Shadow's revenge. In the eyes of the Lord, I was forgiven. They gave me a few Our Fathers and Hail Marys. So I don't have that sin. I mean, I went to confession over it. That's a true story, by the way. So in the eyes of the Lord, I'm absolved from the dog sin. I don't know why the hell my mother drove me to confession for that, but she did. Shadow says, every time you pop a cyst, I hope you remember me. I didn't dislike Shadow. Shadow was a good dog. So he was a spooky. I didn't dislike. Can someone be honest with me? What are the hidden realities? So he says the hidden realities are 10 bad. You know, Gina says she went to Catholic school and she had to go to confession every week. So she just made up things that sounded believable. Yuri says, I can give you a clue about the hidden realities. What's the clue about the hidden realities, Yuri? Dave says, tell the truth. Sleeve says, tell the truth. Tell me the truth. God, tell me the goddamn truth. Tell me the goddamn truth. Kyle says, you no longer catch it, check it, change it. Can somebody be honest with me? Can somebody be honest with me? Is everybody being honest with me? Is everything as it appears to be? Is everybody being honest and true? So he says CCC is out of the vernacular. No more catch it, check it, change it. We just go. We just go. Dave asks, how did your mom react when you told her? And was it your guilt that led? Yeah. So I felt guilty about the dog sin, obviously. I didn't tell my mom what I wanted to go to confession for, but she must have known it was probably that. I don't know. Maybe she didn't. And I went to confession and I told the priest, how I let the dog, and he gave me a few Hail Marys and Our Fathers, and I'm absolved from the dog sin in the eyes of the Lord. Tara says, "Oh my." So I'm going to heaven. So at the very least, I'm going to heaven. Cool Man says, "Bro." I'll read to you Dr. Garrett's post about the dog sin. Dr. Garrett said in response to the dog sin many years ago. Dr. Garrett said on February 9th, 2017, we will also talk about the dog story. Easy for me to say, and I say this hoping it can be of some comfort to you, but there is no crime against dogs or humanity here. But you were deeply affected by that experience. And we will go into that also rather than brush it aside. Somebody says, that's lies. It's lies. Somebody says, yeah, I mean, honestly, when I first, I remember I felt really guilty about the dog sin in high school, and I would listen to songs and really try to relate it to the dog sin. For example, Hoobastank the Reason. I would listen to the song and it would come on the radio and it would go like, I'm not a perfect person. I'm like, yeah, this is true. I'm not a perfect person. There's many things I wish I didn't do correct. And I continue learning. I never meant to do those things to you. But then it turned into like a relationship kind of song. And I'm like, it doesn't really relate to the dog sin. And also Crawling in My Skin by Linkin Park, I think was another one. There were other songs that I tried to relate to the dog sin to give me some comfort over, something that was very traumatic for me. It was a golden retriever. It was a golden retriever. She was a good dog. Though. She really was a good dog. It was a mistake. And so it says calling it the dog sin makes it hilarious, and it shouldn't be. It was a golden retriever. I'll show you a picture. I'll show you a picture. Hold on one sec, guys. This is me. This is me with the golden retriever. This is me with the golden retriever here. In 2001, I guess. December 15th, 2001. After September 11th. Yeah, right after 9/11. And this is me with the golden retriever in 2009. She's older here. This is me with the golden retriever in 2015. This was shortly before she passed away. No, to be honest with you, I mean, they were like it was isolated. It was 2001, 2002. She was a good dog. She had a good life. She was a good dog. Somebody asks, how many times did the dog sin happen, Andrew? You want me to be honest with you, or you want me to lie to you? Two or three. But I'll just say once. But it was all 2001, 2002, and it didn't happen since. Somebody says, "Oh Lord, oh Lord." But I went to confession, so I'm absolved in the name of the Lord. So I'm going to heaven at the very least. So he says a second dog sin hit the Twin Towers. I don't think it was three. Maybe it was only twice. Maybe it was only once or twice. Maybe it wasn't three times. Somebody says three times. You're a sicko. I don't. Maybe it wasn't three times. Maybe it was only twice. To be honest with you, I don't remember. Somebody says sounds like 5+ times. I don't know, Tara. I don't think that's true. No, no, nothing happened since 2001, 2002. I've been a goody two shoes, be good Johnny since then. And I really felt guilty. I really regretted it. It really made me feel defective, damaged, ashamed. I really didn't like. It was a mistake that I learned from. It was a mistake I learned from. I'm like, yeah, this is bad shit. It was terrible. Yes, it was terrible, but the mistake was the dog sin. Yeah, I'm finding humor. I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it. No. Oh well, I'm not a sociopath. Somebody says I guess sociopaths abuse animals. I didn't really abuse the animal though, but I'm not a sociopath according to Dr. Garrett and Dr. Copland. I have empathy. I'm not even a narcissist, so I'm very warm, loving in my relationships. Believe it or not, I know when it comes to my parents, maybe not, but I'm not. I really am a sweetheart. Believe it or not. And actually, interestingly enough, I know Dr. Garrett says, actually, the way you're talking about the dog expresses guilt in a way. It expresses feeling guilty. And that's actually, somebody who's a sociopath wouldn't feel that way, the guilt you feel over the dog sin. So that's actually an example of you not being a sociopath, the tremendous guilt you feel over it. So that was Dr. Garrett's take, and there's other examples of me feeling empathy, guilt, and that kind of thing. So it was bad. It was a mistake. I felt really guilty about it, but um, it probably happened once or twice, maybe three times. I don't know if I don't really. I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't jotting this in a notebook. Oh, how many times did the dogs in take place? I know it was a mistake. I felt guilty about it. I regretted it. I went to confession over it. To be honest with you, I don't really remember. Well, let's just say once or twice. This is like 2001, 2002. I don't fucking remember, guys. This is a long time ago. I remember feeling guilty about it. I remember feeling defective and damaged about it. I remember praying to God, I would be normal like I was before the dog sin. I remember hating that it happened, but you know, it, slaves. That's not true. It didn't. It happened once or twice. Who came up with the term the dog sin? I guess I came up with that term. I was afraid of going to hell for committing the dog sin. So I went to confession. Somebody says, "Did you reach out to the Fountain House?" Maybe I'll go back to the Fountain House. That's not a bad idea. I would love to go back there, but there are some people I'm on bad terms with there. So maybe I should go back. Maybe I should head back into New York City, put on my Doc Martens, put on a cool outfit, and try to meet some people. Somebody asks, "Is the dog sin an Opie and Anthony joke?" Actually, to be honest with you, part of the reason the idea of the dog sin was put into my head was because of an episode of Opie and Anthony. I was listening to some people who said, like, it doesn't matter, but basically there were women that were talking about how things would. It doesn't matter, but that's actually true. They're the ones who put the idea in my head. So you got to be careful. I remember, like, many years ago, somebody said, "Yeah, I wouldn't share with children," which I was at the time, movies like Borat, or let them listen to shock jocks like Opie and Anthony, because they can put ideas in people's heads, and people can be impressionable at a young age and do stupid things. You gotta check the rating, because, you know, somebody says, "Sue Opie and Anthony for you committing the dog sin." You're right. Yeah, Tara's badass. We like Tara. She's obsessed with me. I dig Tara. Tara's one of my favorite inpatients, that's for sure. And she seems like she likes me. So anybody who likes me, nobody likes me. So Tara seems to like me genuinely. So I dig. She's my buddy. Rusty's my buddy too. Anybody, I think there's a song. I think it's by Train. I think it's "Drops of Jupiter." It says, "Your best friend," and I'm not calling Tara my best friend, but somebody always sticking up for you, even if you're fucked up and wrong. I dig that. I dig people who just are there for you, and I mean, not always come to your defense, but just are like on your team and just like unconditionally kind of dig you. And that seems like what Rusty and Tara do. Tara says, "Andrew is a gold mine." McClare says, "I like you too, Andrew. Thank you." Cool Man says, "You disappoint me sometimes, but you're cool, man." Thank you, Cool Man. No, apparently Tara just met me recently. The algorithm suggested her to me. She's just a really cute woman who likes me, who thinks I'm a gold mine, and that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing. Apparently, she's just a cute woman who likes me, and that's a cool thing. Apparently, she doesn't have a history with me. I was just in her recommendations. She says, "This is a late night for you." Yeah, it's a late night for me. Cool Man says, "I love your videos. You're literally the most fascinating person I've ever come across." Thank you, Cool Man. I usually go to bed around 8 or 9, but tonight I'm not. Six! Six, six, six! Tara is 100% Asian woman. Oh, yeah. She's the Asian woman from college. Dave asks, "Why did I sing Hoobastank the other day?" I think I heard it on the radio and I wanted to sing it. Tara says she was born in the shadows of Hiroshima victims. All right. All right. All right, guys. I think I did 55 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I know we got 75 people. Somebody says, "What are we collecting these 74 people to help with your mother to atone?" Rusty says, "Do another hour, damn it." Rusty, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. I appreciate you wanting me to continue, though. McClare says, "I haven't heard you sing Getting Hungry by the Beach Boys in a while." I'll do that tomorrow. You want me to cover Getting Hungry again? I wake up in the morning just to work all throughout the day. That sun can get so hot that you sweat your strength away. Okay, I'll stop mistreating my parents. I'll treat my parents better. I'll treat my parents more loving and empathetically. Getting hungry. Hungry for my kind of woman. Getting hungry. Soon I gotta find me a woman. I'm getting hungry. Searching for a pretty girl. Though I still get up in the morning. But it's so hard all day long. If it weren't for the love of a woman, I don't think I could continue on. McClare says Andrew's doing better. No more abuse of his parents. He said so. Rusty's put my phone number in the live stream. Don't do that. McClare says the Bukkake video is the point of no return, Andrew. All right, guys. I think I'm going to peace out here. Thanks for watching. Tara, if you want to chat for a little bit on Instagram, we can. She says bye. If not, maybe I'll just go to bed. I'll talk to you guys all again soon. Peace out. Kyle says, Tara isn't real, Andrew. Get it through your head. Tara is fake. No, I do have empathy. There's been lots of examples of me empathizing and feeling guilty, and I definitely have empathy and guilt and remorse, and I'm extremely sensitive, and feel badly for people. It's actually, believe it or not, true. I mean, I know people want to diagnose me as a narcissist, a psychopath, or a sociopath, but it's really not true. If you really want the facts, I mean, you could just say Andrew's a sociopath and believe it if you really want to, but it's not true. I have delusional disorder or schizoaffective disorder, and that's the reality. I'm not a perfect person. There's many things I wish I didn't do, but I continue learning. I never meant to do those things to you. So I'm going to say before I go, I just want you to know I found a reason for me to change who I used to be, a reason to start over new. And the reason is you. The reason is you, sleeves. The reason is you. Okay? So this is so deep. That was really deep, Andrew. She says, well, that's nice. All right, peace out, guys.